Hello, everyone. Welcome to Viva-Mundo's webinar. My name is Fernanda, and I'll be with you today in this webinar. Well, a little bit about Viva-Mundo.com. It exists to help students with the information and details required for studying abroad. Destinations, degrees, application details, visa information, and lifestyle tips. We have everything you need to set you on your way to the next chapter in your life. In this webinar today, we have here with us Boris Polotazek, representing California State University, Northridge. The theme of this webinar will be Study Abroad in CSUN in Los Angeles, California. Well, if you have any questions during the presentation, please put them in the Q&A box on the menu below your screen, and he will answer all the questions on the end of the presentation. I'll hand it over to you now, Boris.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much, Fernanda, for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today to learn more about California State University, Northridge, or we just call ourselves CSUN. It's much easier. So let me share my screen here real quick. And yeah, as you already probably know, CSUN is located right here in Los Angeles. So welcome to Los Angeles. And to begin our presentation, I prepared a small video which I will play. And I hope it will already answer some of your questions. Enjoy. All right, perfect. Let me switch back to the presentation. So I hope you liked our video and it already told you a little bit more or gave you a better understanding of our campus. So let me first explain a little bit more about our university. So we are part of the California State University system, which is the largest public four-year university system in the US. With more than 23 different campuses throughout California. And actually, our university is among the top 3 largest of those campuses, with a student enrollment of about 39,000 students. So right here on this slide, you can actually see our location, where we are. We are a little bit north of the Los Angeles airport. So we're in the northern part of the city of LA. About 30 to 40 minute driving distance to the Los Angeles International Airport. So very easy to get to us, to get to our campus. It's very, as you probably know, LAX, the Los Angeles Airport, is an international airport and has frequent flight connections throughout the world. And we're also within easy driving distance to locations such as Hollywood, which is about 20 minutes away, Universal Studios, Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, downtown Los Angeles, the Hollywood sign. So all of that is within easy driving distance from our campus. Our students, out of those 39,000 students, we have close to 2,000 international students from more than 100 different countries, and they can study a lot of different things at our university. So they can study more than 140 different undergraduate degrees, that is bachelor's. So they have 140 different majors and options that they can study. And when it comes to master degrees, it's a little bit more than 100 degrees that students can study here at CSUN. We'll also talk a little bit more about what else you can study. We'll go over our study abroad program, our semester at CSUN program, our summer at CSUN program, and also we'll talk a little bit about our intensive English program here as well. Now, our campus is known for its vibrant campus life. We do have a lot of great facilities available to our students here on campus. For example, we have a great student recreation center. You can see that building right here on this slide. That is our what we call SRC, the Student Recreation Center. That's a place where students can go to work out and to socialize. It does also have a big swimming pool, but it also has an indoor track ring. It has an indoor climbing wall, which is about 3 stories high. It's a huge building. I'm not sure if you can see the proportions properly on this slide, but it's just a very, very big building, and it's state of the art. So it's a couple of years old. So yeah, very new, and you can also lift some weights, do some cardio, anything you would expect at a typical fitness studio or gym that you go to or that you might go to. Yeah, and it's just really a great place for students to just stay active and follow a healthy lifestyle. And of course, it's great for you to hang out with other students and to socialize as well. If you're tired from that, if you're exhausted, you can head right next door to the Oasis Wellness Center. That is almost like a little spa that we have available on our campus. It's a great place. It offers aromatherapy. It has massage chairs available to our students, so you can take a massage. It also offers napping pods. So on this slide, in the upper right-hand corner, you can see those cubicles, or those spheres, I should say, where students are just taking a nap, just relaxing and get ready for the next exam. So that's also something that you can do. Furthermore, they also do have nutritional advice available to you. So if you are interested in clean eating, or maybe cleaning up your eating habits, that's also something that you could look into. Our students can join more than 300 clubs and organizations that are active on our campus. So that can be literally anything. It can be hobby-based, it can be study-based, it can be a social cause that those student clubs follow. It can also be fraternities and sororities, which are active on our campus as well. So a lot of different things that you can do to get active and to participate in our campus life. And even more so if you have a certain hobby and you want to meet students who have that same hobby, you can join that respective club. Of course, we also do have sports clubs if you want to play soccer, if you want to play tennis, volleyball, beach volleyball. There are a variety of sports available as well. Last but not least, we also do have a student health center. So our student health center, specifically during current times, I think that's very important to mention. You can go there Monday to Friday if you're not feeling well, and somebody can take a look at you. And if it's something more serious, we can always refer you to the next nearest urgent care or hospital room. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And then of course, we also do have a Matador advisement hub. Matador, by the way, that's our mascot, Maddie the Matador. He's a very friendly guy, despite the name. I know it does not translate that well, but yeah, he's he's just our school mascot. So our advisement hub, specifically for undergraduate students, helps students to enroll into the right classes and answer any questions that you may have regarding your classes and courses. We also do offer on-campus student housing, and I see that I already have a couple of questions that are coming in. Just briefly, I will get to the Q&A by the end of the presentation. So, and in case if I missed any of your questions, Fernanda will also help us out with that. So student housing, we do have that available on campus. It's very convenient. So if you want to wake up in the morning and just walk to your classroom, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to walk. It's very, very safe, convenient, and fully furnished. Internet is available. Laundry facilities are available, and it's typically a shared room option. So you would be sharing your room with one other student, and you would have 4 students in a 2-bedroom apartment and 2 students per bedroom, if that makes sense. And yeah, not everybody can just enter the housing area. You have to have a key card. The housing area also has a big dining hall where you can go and eat something, of course. And it also comes along with 2 swimming pools, 1 beach volleyball court, 1 basketball court. So if you want to stay active or if you just want to study at the pool, you can definitely do so as well. A couple of fun facts about CSUN, some famous alumni. I'm sure you would recognize some of them from TV shows or television shows. And of course, one of them is a musician. So Eva Longoria, Desperate Housewives, and now also a political activist. Alison Hannigan, How I Met Your Mother. Sergei Tankian, who is the lead singer of the System of a Down, a metal band. And then Doug Emhoff, who is the current second gentleman. Yeah, he's Kamala Harris's, who's the current vice president of the US. He's her husband, and he's been quite active with CSUN as well. He just recently had an event with CSUN students, a webinar, so it was really good to see. So he's still engaged with CSUN. Now, as a student at CSUN, these are things that you will get. So student ID cards, of course, you can participate in typical campus life, health and fitness. And we also do organize for some of our students group trips that we do here in our office that can go to either Las Vegas or San Francisco. It really depends what is currently available. Then if you decide to stay in campus housing, you can also go for a meal plan. So that is then already included. You don't have to worry about food. So all of that is an option for you. Now, let's first briefly talk about our intensive English program. So for those of you who are looking to study English in the US, we do have an intensive English program here at CSUN, small class sizes, and it also does offer conditional admission to our degree program. So if you want to study a bachelor's or a master's, but you're still missing that English section, you can definitely first improve your English with us. And then once you reach that high enough level, you can automatically transfer to CSUN to pursue your full degree. A typical class session is about 8 weeks. So just keep that in mind. And we do have 5 different intakes throughout the year. Spring, that is mid-January, mid-spring, that is around March. Summer is coming up, actually, that's mid-June. Fall is around mid-August, and mid-fall is around mid-October when those classes start. And then, of course, it also offers TOEFL preparation and IELTS exam preparation. The only caveat here is you should be at least 18 years old in order to attend our intensive English program, and you should have completed high school. This is a typical sample session. Just briefly, a typical day would start at 9 a.m. and typically you would be done by 3 to 4:30, depending on what else you would like to do. It also offers free tutoring. So if you want to improve your English fast, I can only recommend you to also take advantage of the tutoring section. Also, it offers content classes in cinema and engineering, finance, music theory. So if you're interested in that, that's also something to look into and to attend. In terms of tuition, this is what we have in place. So for, again, an 8-week session, you're looking at about $3,345. If you want to also stay on campus and on-campus housing with the meal plan, which is optional. So the housing option is optional. That's about $3,430 for 8 weeks. And these are the upcoming sessions for this year. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to PMI or to me, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Now, our semester at CSUN, that's our study abroad program. So for those of you who are already confident in their English and just want to get a study abroad experience, let's say you just graduated either high school or you are currently studying in, be it in Brazil or in Argentina, depending on where you're joining us from at a university. You might want to consider this if you want to just get a study abroad semester experience here in the United States, in Los Angeles and California. So you can definitely do so. You can enroll for up to 2 semesters. You need to meet the English proficiency requirement, which is for undergraduate studies, is a TOEFL score of 61 or an IELTS score of 6.0. For graduate studies, by the way, would be the TOEFL score of 79 and an IELTS score of 6.5. And you should have a minimum GPA. So that's the overall grade average of 2.0 on a 4.0 grading scale. I know you're most likely not familiar with the American grading scale. 4.0 is the best. 2.0 is about a C average. And if you're a graduate student, you should have a little bit better than a C average, so about a 2.5 GPA. You should be 18. You should have graduated high school as well, but even if you haven't started university yet, again, it's a great opportunity for you to maybe stay here for a gap year. So that's also something that a lot of students do in our study abroad program. Also offers transferable credits. You will get an official CSUN transcript with your grades, and that credit you can ideally take back if you're already studying to your university, and this way you're not losing any time in your studies and you're not losing a year or a semester. And of course, we also do offer on-site academic support and advisement. And there's a lot of stuff that you can study. As a study abroad student, you have literally the choice. So you can do and study whatever you'd like to study. We have over 9,000 different classes typically each semester. And we do have 9 different academic colleges: College of Arts and Media, Communication, Business College, Engineering Education, Science and Math, anything you can think of, Social and Behavioral Sciences, Humanities. So there are a broad range of classes that you can enroll into, as long as they are available and you are eligible. For example, if you don't have an engineering background and you would want to enroll into a high-level engineering class, well, we would advise against that. You would not be eligible in that sense because, well, you don't have all the prerequisite knowledge and you wouldn't be happy in that class either. So, but we will advise you and help you and decide with you on what classes you should focus on. Okay, so there's a lot of that services is of course provided here. In terms of tuition and fees, this is what a typical semester at CSUN costs. It's about $6,900 per semester in tuition, and the application fee is $300. So you're looking at around $7,200. If you want to stay on campus, that's an additional $6,480. So that is for typically 18 weeks. Okay. Then the last option is we also have a summer program. So if you have some time during the summer, and if you just want to, spend some time here in Los Angeles during the summer, let's say for a 6-week session, you can do so. You can see the current dates that we have, the dates. The dates will be similar for 2023. And I anticipate that the cost will be the same as well. So that is about $3,200. And you can take up to 2 classes. And yeah, there are a lot of different classes that are available in business, in art, photography, these kind of things. So if you need more information, that's our Summer at CSUN program. Feel free to reach out. A couple of fun facts. I know this was a lot of information, but a couple of fun facts about our university as well is we're only 20 minutes away from Hollywood. And the fun fact is actually that a lot of the filming is taking place in and around the San Fernando Valley. So that's the northern part of Los Angeles. That's where our university is located. So for us, it's very common that we see film shootings going on our campus. Our campus is a little bit bigger than Disneyland, has a lot of great architecture, and is often used for a variety of movies or television shows. For example, if there are any Star Trek fans among you, our library has been used as the Star Trek Academy right here. So you can see that shot, how it looks in real life and how it looks in Star Trek. So I think that's always kind of cool. Matty the Matador, as I mentioned, he's our mascot. He's a very friendly guy, and there's typically a competition going on among students at the beginning of the semester who can take the most pictures with him. So just another quick fun fact. Actually, the mascot was decided on when the university was founded, and the surrounding communities were mainly Hispanic at that time, and decided that Maddie the Matador would be the mascot, but they wanted to make the mascot of CSUN. Also, we do have a lot of squirrels on our campus, and we do have a really cool area on our campus called the Orange Grove, where you have a lot of orange trees and a duck pond. It's a great area where you should go to hang out and to relax. And it looks how Los Angeles looked like 60, 70, 80 years ago. So it's one of those areas where they still try to keep the original nature of Los Angeles, if you will. So it's kind of cool, and definitely a place I can only recommend. Now, enough about CSUN in that sense, because California attractions, of course, there's a lot of stuff that you can also do apart from on campus. You can visit a lot of different attractions throughout California. There's San Francisco, there's San Diego, all of them are within easy driving distance. It's just a great state to be in. You can also go to Las Vegas if you wanted to, in Nevada. That's about a 5 to 6 hour drive away from Los Angeles. And of course, just a lot of different national parks that are within easy driving distance from our campus as well. If you have more questions, or if you want to see what else is out there, I would highly recommend to take a look at our YouTube channel at Cal State Northridge. You can find videos such as A Day as a Matador that will just explain a little bit more right here on how a typical day would look like and what a typical student gets to experience, and will also tell you more information about our campus in general. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of this presentation. I know it's been a few minutes, so let me see what kind of Q&A questions I have. And maybe Fernanda, if you want to read these out, and I'll follow along and make sure that I can answer them.
Sure. We have a lot of questions here. The first one, hi there, can I work and stuff in California? And for how long can I stay there after my degree?
Yeah, so you can, as an international student, so if you come here on an F1 visa and you, let's say, study a degree, let's say you study a bachelor degree, you are able to work only on campus. So on campus jobs. Typically, there are a lot of on-campus jobs available to students, for example, as a student assistant, or even if there are a lot of coffee places on our campus, even if you wanted to work as a barista, but it has to be on campus. And you can work up to 20 hours a week, typically during the semester. And when the semester is not taking place, you can work up for 40 hours a week. Most jobs at the moment here in California pay minimum wage, and that's also true for our campus. Minimum wage at the moment, I believe, is $15 per hour here in California. So yeah, it is a possibility as a degree-seeking student. However, if you want to come here and study English or just attend for one semester or for two, you would not be eligible to work on campus, unfortunately. Okay. All right. Next question.
Next, will there be any chance to mingle with future employees? Can we take internship alongside studies?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. We, as a matter of fact, and I didn't include those slides on this presentation, but I actually have them, and I'm happy to share those with you. We do have a career center on our campus where you can go, where you can get advice on career opportunities. You can get help with your resume. You can see how a typical American interview is done, and you can also connect with local employers as well as our alumni network. So that's definitely something you could do. And you can also seek out internships, and there are there's plenty of advice available to you, what you would have to keep in mind if you wanted to do that. And there's a lot of support here at CSUN for that as well. So yes, practical experience, actually CSUN, and as a CSUN student, we put a lot of emphasis on that. So if you're able to gain that practical experience, even as an international student, we will definitely support you and help you to find the right fit for you. Let me see, will there be any chance to mingle with you? Can we take internships? Yeah, so that was it.
The next, is the accommodation on campus or off campus?
So our accommodation is on campus, but you can also look for accommodation and housing off campus. It's up to you, right? So for the on-campus accommodation, I showed you already a couple of things and what it would roughly cost. But if you do have, let's say, relatives who live in Los Angeles, or if you do have friends that you could room with, or that have an apartment and you can share an apartment with them off campus, that is fine as well. So CSUN is one of those schools that do not make housing mandatory. That means even as a first-time freshman, bachelor student, so you don't have any college experience, a lot of universities in the US will actually ask you to stay on their campus and on-campus housing. CSUN does not. So you do have the option, even from the get-go, to find housing off campus. But you want to keep in mind that Los Angeles is a large city, similar to Sao Paulo, for example. And if you find housing right across from the city, it will take you hours to get to campus. Our traffic can sometimes be very heavy, so you want to make sure to find housing close to campus and with an easy, either driving or public transportation distance. So yeah, so long story short, there's both, but for off-campus housing, it would be your responsibility to find that option for you.
Okay, thank you. The next question, are you able to take classes online, or are you 100% in person?
Great question. So currently, for the current semester that is taking place, which actually just finished, our spring semester, we had around 90% of classes in person, but a lot of those classes still gave students the option for a somewhat hybrid, level. Basically, they had, sometimes the capability to live stream certain classes as well if students couldn't make it or wanted to attend virtually. However, for the fall semester, we anticipate to be back in person 100%. So that is what we are counting on. So that hybrid model, I mean, all of us got used to Zoom now, and we still took advantage of that for students who couldn't make it to campus. But moving forward, I just expect that most or 100% of classes will definitely take place in person. And I'm not sure how many of those will still offer that hybrid functionality.
Okay. Next, can I get help with my visa and looking for accommodation?
So you can, however, so what we provide at CSUN is our International Admissions Office. Once you submit an application online, our International Admissions Office will send you a document called an I-20 and a letter of, basically an admissions letter, saying that you've been admitted to CSUN. And with that I-20, you can go to set up an interview at the US consulate in your respective home country to go through the interview process in order to get the F1 visa. Now, CSUN only sends out the documentation, but we cannot help you with the actual visa process itself. But there are a lot of institutions that can help you. For example, you can reach out to BMI and see if they have any resources available to you. And then, take it from there. And I'm sure that they would be happy to share that with you. In terms of accommodation, we can only point you. So on campus, of course, no problem. We can point you. There's a CSUN website only for housing. It's just called CSUN Housing. And if you just search engine that, search for it online, you will automatically see our housing website. For off-campus accommodation, we cannot really help you because we're state employees and we cannot point out a certain, hey, go with that housing agency, or here's an apartment. We are not legally allowed to do that. So you kind of have to, if you go for off-campus housing, you kind of have to look into your options by yourself. But of course, we're here to support and just give you general tips and tricks, what to keep in mind if you sign a lease, for example, or if that's affordable, things like that. Right,
okay, next one. What is the application deadline?
So that depends on what program you'd like to apply to. So let's say you want to apply to our degree-seeking programs, be it a bachelor or a master degree. The application deadlines differ by semester. So for the spring semester, the application typically opens the previous year on October the 1st and closes on May the 31st, the year off for fall. Sorry, not for spring, so for the fall semester. So for the coming fall semester, which is starting right now in August, students have from all the way last year, October the 1st, until this month, a couple of days left until May the 31st, to send in an application, be it for either bachelor or master degrees. Now, for our intensive English program or for our semester at CSUN program, those deadlines differ. For our fall semester at CSUN program, you have until June the 15th to submit documents and to submit an application. Typically for the, again, coming fall semester, so start date in August. For our IEP program, the deadlines always differ because we have 5 different start dates. So it really depends on what kind of start date you want to go for. And it's typically a few months earlier than that is the application deadline.
Okay, the next question is, do you offer financial aid for international students?
We do offer scholarships, but only once you have been accepted into CSUN, let's say as a degree seeking student. So you're starting either bachelor again or a master. And for that, we do have performance-based scholarships that are available to international students. However, that means you first have to get admitted to CSUN and be good in your classes in order to apply to those, because merit-based, performance-based, that means you should typically have good grades in order to be eligible for those scholarships. And they can range in the amount that they provide, dollar amount, anywhere from $2,000 per semester all the way up to $10,000 per semester. For our undergraduate studies, the tuition that you can expect for a whole year for 2 semesters is about $16,500, roughly $16,500 per year. So it's a little bit more than $8,000 per semester in tuition otherwise. That also answers the next question. Are there scholarships available? So yes, there are. But again, they are merit-based. We don't have any pre-arrival scholarships. If you want to know more, you can go onto our website, or you can just search CSUN International Scholarships. That will bring you to our international scholarship website. You will find some good resources there. So I can only recommend that. Reason being is because some of the resources listed there are also off-campus scholarships. So these are general scholarships available to students, and you might find something there, even if it's not directly CSUN related. So please take a look. All right.
Okay, next. Is it possible to have a guide or tutor during my stay on campus?
Yeah, so you will. So for all of the programs that I mentioned, be it, let's say, if you want to just study for a semester or for 2 at CSUN as a study abroad student, or if you want to study full-time in your bachelor degree, there are resources available to you, right? So we do have our Matador Advisement Hub that will help you, specifically international students who get their degree, their bachelor. When it comes to the study abroad program, you will have us, our team, that will help you with that. The same is true for our intensive English program. You will have tutors and staff that can help you with any type of issues or problems you might be having. So there's a lot of support for campus. And even as a graduate student, so as a master's student, you will have your graduate department and your graduate coordinator who can help you and advise you on things that you need to consider and keep in mind. So yeah, there are a lot of different resources available to you.
Okay, thank you. Next one, are there internship programs?
Yeah, again, so there are internships that are available, and we have seen international students who have done internships at, for example, Google, Tesla, Amazon. So these are available, and our career center on campus here is the place that has the most up-to-date information, and they have advisors there as well who can help you out, as well as our International Student Exchange Center, which is another location very important for international students that we have here on campus with additional resources.
Okay, the next one, is California affordable with the cost of inflation?
Great question. So yeah, California is definitely one of the more expensive states to live in here in the United States, and Los Angeles as well has a fairly high cost of living, similar to the cost of living of New York City and San Francisco. So it's definitely not a cheap place to live at. Inflation has been pretty high, as for most of us worldwide. So yeah, is it affordable? It depends. It depends on what you would recognize as affordable, right? It is expensive. Certain things have gotten pretty expensive. For example, if you own a car, getting gas. Overall, I mean, you can make ends meet and you can make it work. But yeah, it would be regardless still a fairly significant investment in order to be able to study here in anywhere really in Los Angeles or anywhere in the United States.
It's similar to the next question. What is the average cost of living for a student in California?
So to give you an idea, for the average cost of living, we estimate, and our international admissions team at the moment estimates that it takes about $34,000 to $35,000 per year, everything included. So housing, living costs, tuition, books, health insurance, to live and study at CSUN for a year, so in Los Angeles. So that's our estimate. So anywhere from $34,000 to $35,000. So yeah, as you can imagine, that's a lot of money, right? So you want to make sure that you are able to afford that and to calculate that in.
Okay, next question. What kind of transport can I use within the city and the campus?
There's a lot of transportation available. We do have a public transportation network which consists out of either buses, or we even have, what a lot of people don't know, we even have our own subway and metro system here in Los Angeles, which, you know, is fairly unique because that's nothing, typically you don't think of that here in LA, but we do have one. However, since Los Angeles is so widespread, right? New York City, for example, is very compact and you just have a lot of high rises, whereas Los Angeles is just very widespread. So the public transportation network is not as dense. That means it typically takes more time to get from point A to point B. If you, for example, want to go from our university by public transit to let's say downtown Los Angeles, it can take, depending on traffic and depending on what type of transportation you use, it can take a good hour or so, sometimes even longer if you get stuck in traffic. So you kind of have to keep that in mind, but it is available to you. Also, otherwise, we do have a lot of ride-sharing services. So Uber or Lyft, you may have heard of these. These are very, very common here in Los Angeles as well.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from the chat from Marilyn. I want to transfer to CSUN from the university in my hometown, in my home country. In this case, what are the steps to follow?
Yeah, that's definitely something that we do accept. So we do accept international transfer students. The steps that you can follow, they're actually listed on our website, and I'm happy to provide you with that. So www.csun.edu, that's our general website. But if you want to get the specific steps, you can just look for, and I'll type it, you can look for CSUN, hold on, CSUN, International Prospective Students. Perfect. So if you type that into your, let's say, search browser, you should be able to find, it should bring you to our international prospective student website. And there you can mark that you are an international transfer student. Long story short, for international transfer students, you should have a GPA of 2.0. For first-time freshmen, for undergraduate studies, it's 3.0. As a transfer student, it's 2.0, so that's good. Your English proficiency should be a TOEFL score of 61 or an IELTS score of 6.0. And ideally, you should have taken an advanced math class and an advanced writing class in order to transfer. And there are different levels on how you can transfer to. So depending on how many years you already took at your university, if you can transfer in as a upper division student, that's junior or senior, or lower division student, that would be freshman or sophomore, so the first 2 years of university. So it really depends also what our international admissions team can give you credit for the classes that you have already taken. So but yeah, definitely possible. We see that quite often as well, and yeah, it's definitely a good option for you. I hope that helped.
Okay. Would you like to add anything else before
Yeah,
we
well,
finish?
sure. I mean, thank you so much for for spending some time with me today, and great questions, everyone. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Fernanda, for your help and organizing this webinar, and thank you also to BMI. So please feel free to follow up with us, follow up with BMI, and if you need more information, you can always send me a quick email, this right here, and I'll put that into the chat, and I hope everybody can see this. Oh, okay, hold on. I just noticed that the message that I sent that not to everyone. So sorry about that, Marilyn. Here you go.
Can you say your email? Because we have people on Facebook Live too.
Yeah, sure. So my email address is boris.polocek@csun.edu. It's a little bit of a spelling contest, but I'm sure you've seen, for the advertisements for this event, you've probably seen my name. So it is BORIS dot and then P as in Paul, O as in owl, L as in leather, O as in owl, T as in tiger, Z as in zebra, E as in eagle, and K as in key. That's a long name, at CSUN.edu. And I'll put it also in the chat here, just in case. All right, and then one last thing. So Marilyn has that right here. Oh, it looks like I can't copy it, but this is how you can find us, Marilyn, if you want to find that website online. Okay, see some international prospective students. Yeah, perfect. All right. Yeah, again, thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Please feel free to stay in touch. Keep in touch with me. Ask me your questions. And yeah, hope to see you sometime in the future here in Los Angeles in Southern California.
Well, thank you, Boris, for your wonderful presentation. It was very informative, and also thank you for answering all the questions posted here. And thank you, everyone, who have participated today. And see you in the next webinars. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye.